question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
I heard y'all need some food for the mind, for the soul, for the soul.
They open the door. They think he's a righteous dude.
Welcome to the MYP Podcast. Oh my gosh, we ain't done this in a break. And in reality, the only reason why we ain't do it is because, we're just going through transition. And in reality, it's just like that realization of all the transition. Like, it was just like realizing that it's such a weird time. It's such a weird time when you go through transition because you're not where you used to be, but you're not where you want to be either. So you in that in between, and while you're finally getting over where you used to be, you're just in this in between, just feeling all these feelings, all the loss, all the regrets, all the just it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And the worst part about it all is like how much you want to go back to the old, but you grew so much. You grew so much that you can't just do that. You really can't just go back to the old. And in reality, it's like if I had me today, if I had who I am today back when, I probably would have like moved so differently. Like, isn't it kind of weird that we're always the person that we need for someone else? Like, I find it so crazy that I'm so willing and able to just help someone else out like it's nothing. They really don't even have to ask. They just have to be in the middle of asking, and I'm just like, yeah, I got you. I got you. But it's like no one ever really has us like that. No one really has your back like that. But like in like this moment of like just growth and figuring out, it was just like that why not just be that person for myself? We really go we really go through a lot all the time. And it's like our brains actually remember everything that happens to us. And some of the things that I realized that I really just pushed to the side, and it's like as I remember, it's like, wow, that really messed with me. And I think that sucks. I think it sucks that we we still help. We're still so willing to help people who hurt us because I like to say it's like our God complex, right? Our God complex that we we need to be the person for them because they don't know what they're doing. And then it was that realization is like, no, wait, they do. Because they rather live with the consequences. And the thing is that, right, is that I have been the person to hurt people. I've done a lot of messed up shit. I've done a lot of like horrible things. And to be honest, that I couldn't follow through with it because it wasn't me. It wasn't the way how I would handle it. It wasn't how I would finally say, "Yep, now that's out of my way." It's not how I wanted to do things. But it's like sometimes it's just like when you're the helper, when you're the helper, you can really do a lot of damage. Like one thing I've learned from gaming, like think about it like that. one thing I learned from gaming and like healers, like I used to play Overwatch a lot, right? I mean, now we ain't got Overwatch. We got we got Marvel Rivals. But like think about it like this, right? You play Cloak and Dagger, you literally can do the same amount of healing as you do damage. But like when you play Overwatch, you can still get you can get played the game as Zenyatta. He doesn't even do a lot of healing, but yet he can get it for healing and kills. Like healers can do damage. And when you realize that you have that balance in you, it's like it outweighs a lot. Like the one side of me who could do so much destruction, and the other side of me who could do so much healing. And then I realize that I'm doing the wrong things for the wrong people. And in all the reality, it's just like I'm doing all this healing for the people who needs to be hurt. And no, I'm not saying that we need to go out there and just hurt people. I'm saying it as in we need to stop giving energy to the things that are draining us. Like a while back, right? But not really too much of a while back. I was watching this review of Lilo and Stitch. And one thing I realized about Lilo is that Lilo Lilo knew what Stitch needed. Like Lilo knew what Stitch needed for him to be seen as more than just a weapon. Like think about it like this, right? Actually, no, I can give you an example. Uh, I've talked about it a couple times, but basically, when I was a family guy, right? When I was a family guy, I I basically received love in like a different way for like the first real time. And for like the first time, I actually felt like I was getting it back. Like my input was giving me output. And it wasn't just from the kids, it was from her too. And it was that realization. It was that realization. It was one of those things that really did mess with me. I'm gonna be so honest with you. It was one of those things that really did mess with me. Because that was the thing that made me think back and forth, like, was it real? Was it fake? And it was like one of those things that make you not trust things. But it's like it was also one of those things that made me soften my heart a little bit because I was like, if I can just give, I just all I like I was healthy enough. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I was healthy enough to understand that okay, I just I just gave this energy to the wrong person. I just gave this energy to the wrong person. Let me give this energy to someone else. The thing is though is that I had it's that I've always been given that energy. I've always gave that energy. I've always gave that energy. Some people just don't get the same amplification because they're not giving it back, right? But it was the fact that like Lilo gave Stitch more than just a place to stay, more than just food. Like at the end of the day, you got to remember, like in the scene, she literally gave Stitch a book called The Ugly Duckling. Like, let's really take a second to think about that. Lilo gave Stitch the Ugly Duckling book, and it helped him find himself. Oh, we were choked up right there. But like Lilo didn't just Lilo seen more in Stitch. Lilo seen more in Stitch because she wanted she wasn't trying to change him. She wasn't trying to change him. She was bringing what he already was out. She was bringing the best out in him. And then he seen himself as more than just a weapon. And like, oh my gosh, I made a video. I made a video on my TikTok. Ooh, shameless plug. I made a video on my TikTok, right? Link in the description. And it was basically talking about what type of stain is your friends leaving on you. And that realization is just like because like basically what happened was that I went to the beach with the fam and everything, and basically they left trash in my car. And basically I was just like, it's like, I just got the message right there. It was like, what kind of stain do certain people leave on us? And and it was just like that level of just like it could all just be a misunderstanding. Like, right? It could all really be a misunderstanding because you got to think about it like this, right? Lilo wasn't just Lilo wasn't just a guide, but a mirror, right? Lilo seen Stitch as someone who was misunderstood, not because he was an alien, but because he was an outcast. Like Stitch was literally banished since birth. Stitch was literally banished since birth. And that realization was just like it was such a hard hitting moment because you got to remember in the beginning of the movie, right? In the beginning of the movie, ooh, hold on, I think we're doing the knowledge on something. Hold on, I think we're doing the knowledge on something. In the beginning of the movie, they was talk like remember how the kids was talking trash about her because like she goes out to the beach for that swim and and like they don't even know her full story. They don't even know Lilo's story. And her only friend was basically a put together doll. I think I forgot Scrum, something like that. Scrum. That was the name of the dog. And like when you really think about it like that, it's like, yeah, because like the little redhead girl had all the other kids like just banding with her. So yeah, she was literally outcasted, and she's too young. She's in that in between. Oh my gosh, it's crazy how we keep coming back to what this was really about, this being in that in between. And like she's too young to basically be a part of the adult crew, but she's clearly an intelligent little child. But she's too different to be a part of the kids crew. Oh my gosh, hold up. Didn't Earl Sweatshirt have that same problem? Nah, bro. Earl Sweatshirt had that same problem. Man, cause he was like having that thing where he like being the black kid. I don't never mind. I don't even want to speak on it. Cause I don't if I don't know it, I don't really want to speak on it and then be missing information. And we don't want to go all through that. But like I know what it means because oh my gosh, we doing the knowledge. It's a lot of reflection. It's a lot of reflection this episode. But it was that realization of just like I remember when I was a kid and I believe I hate kindergarten. I hate kindergarten. Kindergarten was basically around the time where I started living with my grandparents. And basically I couldn't really kick it with all the other kids. Like I could, I knew how to socially blend in, but it was just like it's just like when when you know everyone's treating you like you're different. And that difference really was because like growing up without my mom or my dad. Rest in peace, my father. But it was that it was just I was already outcasted because I was already going through like mental trauma with me not having my mom. And that and like being like a 5, 6, 7 year old with depression, like no one ever really can talk about that, right? No, like all I knew is that I was drawing some really weird pictures, and it was like, let's be honest, it was just all just a cry for help. It was all just a cry for help, but you know, your boy just got therapy, and like when you that young, they don't really help, right? They just try to make you forget that you have it. And sometimes it gets serious to the point where like you have to take medicines, but I was very like self-conscious, right? Like I woke up very early. And when we say wake up, I mean like, you know what I mean? Like you just sitting down one day and out of nowhere, it's a flashbang and you just like this. Yeah, like I woke up very early. It was like like three maybe? Two, like late two, early three. So like I already had like it who like let's wait, hold on. I'm gonna get back to it. But I have to say this part, right? I act like I was low key an evil genius. I would be real with you, all right? I'm gonna be real with you, right? So living with my grandparents, I kind of act like well like where when I go over there before I lived with them, I used to kind of like act like I didn't know how to talk very well. Like the fact that I can remember that. But like I used to do a little bit of gibberish in between my words just so I didn't have to say the full sentence, just so like they wouldn't expect something from me. Low key. But like in reality, I'm in my head like I really want to watch the Cartoon Network right now. Man, I want to go outside. Why is there no kids here? Like, I really had the ability to say full sentences. I just chose not to. But like, like I said, since I woke up very early and being a 7 year old with depression, like 6, 7, 8 year old, I don't know what time was kindergarten. I don't know what time was kindergarten. But like being in that early age with depression, it was like it was a weird experience. So like you can't really just talk about it. And then like, oh my God, and like, okay, I'm having a bit of a flashback. I remember there was this kid who I kind of hung out with like regularly. He was the first kid to ever have an afro. He was the first kid to have like a low fro. And basically, that's how I remember. But like basically, I think he got like mad at me or something. And basically he used one of my words that I said. He was like, I wish like aliens would just come down and eat your brains or something like that. And like I used to say that about myself. I used to basically, because like I like the thing about it is like he didn't understand what he was saying in a way. But he knew what he was saying, that was to me was bad. And it was just like, oh man. So other people want me to die too. Bro, ooh, like I'm telling you, it's just like having moments like that was really like will really get to you, especially when you're that young, just like Lilo. Just like Lilo. Like cause Lilo was like Lilo not having both of her parents. Both of her parents died into a car crash because of bad weather. Y'all probably didn't even know that part. Y'all won't really tap into the movie like I was. I don't know why I'm smiling, but that's why she feeds the fish every morning or so. Because like in Hawaiian culture, the fish that she is feeding basically controls the weather. And yeah, you know, but let's get back to the task at hand. It was just like Lilo understood Stitch because Stitch was misunderstood, and that misunderstood made him outcasted. Because like you gotta think about it like this: we only seen just a small bit of Stitch's life, but we gotta remember like Stitch is literally an experiment. Like he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have parents, none of that. He was literally built to be a weapon. And that's exactly how they treated him. They treated him like he was a weapon, and he treated everyone else like said thing because that's all they seen him for. So that's how he's going to see himself. And like when you're around people who see you as a certain thing, you're going to become it. This is not an excuse, but I'm going to say it. I literally used to get accused for cheating, and I never would step out until I was like, you know what, nigga, fuck it, because you think I'm gonna do the shit anyway. You don't like you think I'm gonna do the shit anyway, and it's like it was just like being seen as that. It was just like it used to always fuck with me. So like yeah, like understanding Stitch. Of course. Like you're going to be the exact thing people keep telling you to be because it's the only thing you hear. So like sometimes when like that's like what it means like to get out of the environment. Getting out of the environment of just like negative the negative people the negative people of just like sometimes you really gotta be by yourself. You really gotta be by yourself. Just so you can keep telling yourself that you're going to be something bigger, something better than what everyone else is telling you. And that shit, and like, and like that's high key, and high key. That's the genuine reason why, like, some people really just like walk away from other people because they're sick of seeing themselves as said thing to a group of people, and then when you don't actually do the character development, now the new people you're hanging around is just going to see that too. It's real. Like I've made those mistakes, and I realized that, and that's why I'm here today. You know what I mean? Because I learned from my mistakes. I always have learned from my mistakes. It's just sometimes I listen too much. I'd listen too much. You know, like being told that I didn't learn from my mistakes just because there's a smidge that makes it look like I didn't. You know what I mean? And that's like that's this oh my gosh. That's like that's that real life type of thing. And like I it's like just one of those things that I just really want people to like realizing that that is judging. You know what I mean? That's judging. I don't judge I've been judged. Now, frankly, in reality, they were kind of right. But the main thing was just like, how long was I going to let them be right? How long was I going to let them be right? Why not me be right about me? Like, I know I could do more than just cause pain. I knew I could be more than just like everyone else. Like anger, anger, anger really wasn't, anger really isn't like what anger wasn't my only emotion. Anger wasn't my only emotion. It's just that's what I was labeled as be and it's literally by the same people who created me to be that way. The same people, the same people who was telling me that I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, were the same people who made me into this, that, and the third. I mean, shit, you showed me how to be ain't shit. No, this is not me blaming anyone though. Like, let's not never play the blame game because at the end of the day, it was still a choice I made, right? It was still a choice I made. I just didn't think that there were any other choices. But when you get labeled so much, when you get labeled so much, it just you like it takes over. And like you're worshiping it more than you're worshiping God. Like that's genuinely what it means. That's genuinely what it means because you're hearing it so much. What you tune into, you turn into, and whatever entertains you, trains you. So when you tuning in and you always hearing that, you turn into it. And if it keeps entertaining you, if it keeps entertaining you, if the exact thing you're tuning into is entertaining you, it's this literally making you into it. Think about it like this: when you have to like, I used to do karate, right? I used to do karate, right? And the only way I could actually, you know, learn how to do the moves is if I watched it first. So when it's entertaining you, it's training you. You're watching it. So when you're watching other people or when you're looking around and you're seeing how to be the exact thing that they're telling you to be or that they're telling you that you are, when you getting that in when you getting that ear through one ear, like we always talk about how, it's in through one ear, out the other. No, what's really happening is it's in one ear, getting processed, then it's out. We may not be processing it. We, as in our subconscious, well, not our subconscious, as our consciousness, we may not be processing it, but our subconscious, oh yeah, it's going through all the notions. It's breaking it down, it's building it up, it's trying to figure out how to do it. And that's like, think about it like that. Like, think about it like in a way of when you try to remember someone's name and you can't remember, it's on the tip of your tongue for like 2 hours. And then next week, Jessica, your brain was doing the knowledge the whole time. Your brain was doing the knowledge the whole time. Like, like high key, like that's the same thing that happened with my homie, my bro. Like he got late. He literally got labeled into like this dangerous human being so much that he started to believe that he was exactly that. This rough and tough exterior of a dude, when in reality, bro is just like has to be one of the most caring people you'd ever meet. Quite literally. Quite literally. One of the biggest and most caring people you ever meet. He's actually going to be on the next episode. He's been on the podcast before. But yeah, he's going to be on the next episode. Y'all got to make sure y'all see that. Like, bro is actually like he's a real caring and genuine person. He's not your genuine though. He's not going to give you the answer. He's not going to give you the answer you're looking for. Like one of the things that you gotta get you some people like who's gonna tell you how it is. I think like it's like right. I've come to this conclusion where I'd rather just hear the truth. The reason why I'd rather hear the truth is because at least like see this is the thing about the truth, right? The truth don't always feel good, but at least you know it. The truth don't always feel good, but at least you know it. And he's gonna say how it is. And I'd rather be around somebody who's gonna tell me how it is than somebody who's just gonna sugarcoat it all the time. Because when you actually like see and like him being friends with him, he's helped me realize like I want to like it was one of those things like he helped me realize like I wanted to start being the person when I say the truth, it's not a bad thing. When I say the truth, it's not a bad thing. It's not gonna hurt. Like I kept saying, I told myself today I was going to do this podcast episode. That's exactly what I'm doing. I didn't lie to myself. I told the truth and I'm in the podcast episode. Like, like telling yourself the truth is like one of the biggest things because like I said about your subconscious earlier, your subconscious knows every time you lie. So think about every time you say something as small as like I'm going to go clean my room. Something as small as I'm going to clean my room and then you don't do it, your subconscious will remember that. And now every time you say, hey, I'm going to clean my room, you're going to be like, but then that one time you didn't clean your room, that's what builds that lack of trust in yourself. So like that was one of the things that I did in order to get to like this point. I started doing smaller things and building rapport with my subconscious. And, you know, the more I did it, the more it was just like, okay, we can handle bigger things. Well, what are the bigger things? I'm going to do a video a day. I don't know. You missed. Remember when you said you was going to do that at one time? I'm doing it though. Oh, snap. You are doing it. You are making a video a day. Wow. Maybe I can trust you to make a video a day. Hmm. And that's how it turns into the habit because your brain, your subconscious trusts that you're going to do it. And like that's one of the coolest things I've ever learned. It's one of the coolest things I've ever learned. Ooh, ooh, man, we this is a bit of a long one. It's a bit of a long one. It's a bit of a long one, man. Word though, man. That really wait, like, man. All like just all together though, like just being that person that someone else needed, being that person that you always needed for someone else. It becomes such a drag. It becomes such a drag because when you finally ask for something, when you finally ask for something, and it's like it's a task that they can't handle. Like I've never asked anybody for something that I've never given myself. You ever realize that? Like when I was a kid, I used to not like to ask for stuff. Why? Why I didn't like to ask for stuff? Because it made me feel weird afterwards. Because it felt like I'm adding a condition. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, hey granddad, if you buy me this, I'll get good grades in school. I'm damn lying, nigga. I ain't finna do shit. I'm gonna be playing this bitch all night. Huh? I'm gonna be playing this shit all night. You know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna wake up late for school. And then, like, bro, like, this is like, I think that was one of those things. It's just like, yeah, yeah, because like, you got to get what you give. So like, then it just kind of turned into me like me becoming like an overachiever. So when I was old enough to get a job, ooh, I ran to that job. I ran to that job. When I turned 16 on my 16th birthday, I put in the application for McDonald's right there. I put in the application for McDonald's right there. What? I was getting my own money. And then when I finally made that money, I ain't spent a damn dime. Everything was too expensive all of a sudden. Everything was too expensive all of a sudden. I remember the first time I tried to order DoorDash. I tried to order DoorDash. I tried to spend $30 on DoorDash and literally looked at it like I was about to go bankrupt. I had $800 in my account as a 16-year-old, and $30 looked like it was about to kill me in my mind. That was the first time I ever realized time was more valuable than money. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was like one of the first real times where I had that recollect like recognition that time was more valuable than money. But then after that, it was just like even then I still didn't want to ask for anything because now I have my own money. But then it made me realize like I don't need too much. I do not need a thing from you. So then I started asking people for the things that money can't buy. Hey, come hang out with a nigga. Now you busy. Ooh. Hey, can you be an ear for me? I really need to vent about something. You're gonna swipe on TikTok as I'm talking. Okay. Hey, look, I just need a moment. Can we just sit here in silence real quick? Now all of a sudden you want to listen to music. Ooh, damn. Like, and then they started calling me fake after I left. After that, they called me fake after I was just like, yeah, this ain't it. Like, you got to think about it like this, right? You have a lot of times in your mind where you're just like, this ain't it before you actually just say, I'm gone. Because it's never the thing. It's never the thing that makes you leave. It's always the things that lead up to it. It's never the things that make you leave. It's always the things that lead up to it. And then that's what's really the hard part about being people like us who are just givers all the time. I don't mean to say it like that, as in like, I believe. No, 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 no. I am a giver. I am a giver. I give a lot. I give the shirt off my back to people. I'm no, I'm not going to downgrade my character and say that I'm not something. No, because I'm so done with doing that shit. I have literally damn no, I have giving the shirt off of my back in order to keep someone else up. I don't know why we keep like, bro, no, I'm telling you exactly who I am. That's what I've done. That is in my records. And that like, and that's one of those things where you just like, we really like, because when you finally walk away, that's when you finally walk away, is that's when you start feeling selfish. And like that realization, like, bro, it's not selfish that you do yourself. You know how like I've said it multiple times where my goal in life really is to like to have three generations of wealth. So like my kids won't ever have to work. And that's like in like the way how like one of the things that I realized is that the only way I'm actually going to be able to get to that is that I have to learn how to make that much money for myself. I have to know how to make at least one generation of wealth for myself. And then I can times that by three. You know what I mean? But how am I going to be able to do that when I'm giving my wealth to everyone else? I have to be, sorry for lack of words, but I have to be a little selfish in order to help. And, then, and like that's where wealth really comes in because you know your worth. Like think about it like this, right? In the story of David and Goliath, right before he even signed, like right before he even said that he's going to fight Goliath, he said, "How much am I going to get paid?" And he asked two other people. He was like, and he said, "I was going to get what?" You heard what he said. He said, "I was going to get who?" Okay, let's go fight that. Let's go fight that 9 foot tall Philistine. Because David knew his worth. David knew his worth. And like one of the main ways you really gonna know your worth is through God. But the only way you're going to be able to learn your worth is if you actually do the knowledge. You gotta go through that. You gotta go through that hard part of yourself. You got to go through the painful healing. It'd be like that. It'd be like that, bro. You have to go through the painful healing. Ooh, and I'm telling you that healing is painful. Painful. It hits all the things. You start looking at yourself differently, but it's really worth it in the end. It's really worth it when you finally get out of that cave. When you finally fight your Goliath and you get out of that cave and you finally just figure out who the hell you really are. Because knowing who you are is way more powerful than anybody else knowing. Oh, we did the knowledge today. We did the knowledge today. All right. But you know what time it is. It's time to give out that free 99 game. And what I'm going to say here today is actually something that really was like one of the things that helped me even start my business for real. So this happened right before I turned to a family. Uh, basically, uh, I wanted to start my business, and like what I really got into at first was I wanted to get into what's it called again? I wanted to get into vending machines. It felt like that was a big craze at the time. So I wanted to get into vending machines. So the thing I wanted to do was there was this dude and he had a route, but the route was about over 50K. I had zero credit. I took a lot of time. I took time out of my life to learn what credit was, just so I could even get into that bank room, right? I ended up learning that there's things that you can do in order to even build credit when you like first start. So like one, uh, if you don't have credit, you can actually get somebody to sign on with you, right? You can have somebody who even has just established credit to give you like a sign with you, and basically their credit score will be your credit score. A lot of like wealthy people actually do that, or like middle class. They'll they have good credit, so they'll give it as like they'll put their kids under like a dependent thing or something like that, and basically the kids get their score. And I had learned that, and it was really bad that I learned that because I was like, I have nobody to ask in that situation. So that was like number one gone. Two, I could give a part of my business away, right? I had already gotten the business license, but I needed the funding. So what I was going to do is that I was going to have my homie help me by helping him be a partner in my business. Now, this is before Anezi. So what I was going to have him do is that I was going to have him get into the business with me, and basically we opened an account through his name, and that his credit would basically show up for our business, and then that basically starts like an entirely different line of credit, because business credit and personal credit are two different things, and I did not know that. I didn't know that until like afterwards. But you need to have at least a 600 credit score in order to even open a business account. And here's the thing: this is how I got my 600 credit score, and it was pretty easy. All I really did was I I opened a bank account, but I opened a bank account in a local bank, like local credit union, not something like everywhere else, a local credit union. And they gave me the credit card instantly because, like I said, y'all, I don't be spent. I financial literacy was one of the first things I ever learned. So I had money in that bank account. So they gave that credit card to me quick. But they gave me a very low balance. It was low to me. You know what I mean? It was low to me because it wasn't 10% of what I had. Well, actually, it was over 10%. It was over 10%. I had like 3K in the bank at that time. So it was over 10%, but it was only 500. And thing I didn't know about it is that you only use 10% of said 500. Like, so then it shows up on the credit. but you don't, there's also things like credit usage. And credit usage, you have to use credit utility, credit utilization, but credit usage is something totally different. And basically, if that's up too high, they're like, oh, he's a big spender. Should we really be giving him this money if he's not going to pay it back? But that's why I keep my payback history on 100. I am very fortunate to where my payback history is still 100. There was a time where it almost wasn't 100 anymore, and I literally almost broke down in tears. But yeah, like it's just like that's the main thing is open a credit card in a local bank and pay and only use but so much. But in reality, right, here's the thing that they're not going to tell you. If you pay it all in 6 days before it's due, it doesn't pop up on your usage. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until like about 6 months of me having it. But like the main way to really gain credit is to basically do things in order to gain credit, like have a loan. But that's enough for you. That's enough. That's enough for your game. That's enough for your game. Let's give it our top five real quick. Top five. All right. Top five best video game soundtracks. Ooh, y'all not ready for this one. Y'all not ready for this one. All right. At number five, we got Saints Row. As a collective, though, as a collective, all Saints Rows had a fire, like, all Saints Rows had a fire soundtrack. But like even though Get Out of Hell had zero music, but like all Saints Row had fire soundtracks. Oh, and we don't count Agents of Mayhem. We don't count Agents of Mayhem. But all Saints Row had fire soundtracks. That was pretty self-explanatory. When Saints Row 4 had Donald Trump walk, I was geeked. Swimming pools, Kanye. Oh my goodness, Kanye. It was like that was how I found out about Tyler the Creator. Number four, Lego Lord of the Rings. Fight me. Lego Lord of the Rings was insane. I literally used the music in like in my vlog. In my 66-day challenge vlog, I literally used the music. It's that heat. But number three, this was a tie. Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 15 was my first love. I don't care what any of y'all say. Actually, no. My first love was the honorable mention. But Final Fantasy 15, I cried when I heard Gladio. Y'all don't understand. But when I heard that dun, 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 goated. Number two, this was a hard one. This was a hard one. And I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing in the comments talking about, of course he put that over there. He's not a real Saints Row fan. GTA 4 had one of the best soundtracks ever in every single station. GTA 4. Oh my gosh. I think they had Bob Marley did the reggae station. I don't care what you say. Top 10, like GTA 4 is the reason why I didn't even like Bob Marley. But then they had songs like Flashing Lights and A-Rap Money, and it's just like you can't beat it. You can't beat it. And number one, I don't even need to like actually, nah. And number one is Persona 5. I'm sorry. Look, yes, I've heard Persona 3. I've heard Persona 3. I've heard both of them though. And I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why Persona 5 won is because Persona 3 didn't have to the only reason why Persona 5 won is because Persona 5 didn't have to do it again. Like didn't have to do a remake in order for you to like hear the music even better. Persona 4, I have not played that yet. I will. Okay. Honorable mention, you should have seen this one coming. You should have seen this one coming. 2K16. I don't even need to say anything. But that's pretty much it. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast episode. It took a while. It took a while. But the next one you won't have to wait like last time, most likely. I'm going to start, recording them every Monday. And yeah, just to make this easier. So then we can actually have them throughout the weeks. And then post them on Wednesday. Does that sound good? Hopefully it does. It's all about making you proud.